Hi Denver, Jeremy with the Cooler Company here, coming to you from Westminster at our shop. I was going to go over today how to shut down or how to winterize your Breeze-Air EXV series evaporative cooler. If you have any questions, want to know more about the cooler, please check our website or our other videos. Anyways, so after working all summer long, snow's coming, time to turn this guy off, time to turn the furnace on. So I'm going to walk you through that really quick. First thing is going to be, you want to press the drain button on your remote control, and that will allow any of the excess water in the unit to drain out. This water could be kind of foul at this point. If it's been cool the past few days, it's probably already drained itself. Next, you'll want to have your ladder ready, depending on your roof. Mine is nice and low today. And you want to get up on the roof and inspect the outside of your pads. If you live in a neighborhood that has a lot of cottonwood trees, you might see a buildup of fuzz instead of the nice tannish brown evaporative cooler pads. If cottonwood is a problem for you, please give our office a call. We have some great products that are very easy to put in and maintain that will keep the cotton out of your cooler and keep you cool all summer long. So, as usual, you just need to remove the door clips from your cooler doors. There will be 2 on each corner for a total of 8. You kind of need to pull down on the door to get it to free itself, and then once it's out, you can do an inspection of your pads. It is recommended that you, at a minimum, take them down and hose them off before you put them away for the winter. That'll get any dirt, any loose scale buildup off of the pads. And so, because I'm close to the ground, I'm just going to set the pads over here. So you remove all the pads and all the doors. Check and clean all your pads. At this point, you should have a towel, maybe a nylon brush, something like that, that you can get up in here and clean out the pan. You know, after the summer, although it drains itself, there's still going to be some debris in there. You know, it could be bugs, could be leaves, it could just be muck and scale. You want to get all that cleaned out of here. Oftentimes, I will brush it loose, turn the cooler back on just to let it fill up, swish the water around, and then hit the drain button one more time. And that's a nice, easy way to do it. So let's just assume that my cooler here has already been cleaned. I wiped it out, it's nice and dry. And I've already hit the drain button, so I can go ahead and take the drain valve out. You simply undo the connector for the drain adapter. You got your lock nut and the spud. And then the lock nut for the drain valve itself. You know, bear in mind, there's still a little bit of water there, but it won't hurt you. So carefully remove that. Check the O-ring, make sure that the O-ring is intact, and that it doesn't go anywhere. I like to put the lock nut back on there, so that way the O-ring will not fall off. And at this point, I go ahead and attach the drain adapter as well. So that way all that stuff is connected. I'm not going to lose it over the winter. Since you're already up here, it's a good time to lock your winter damper in place, if you have one. And we're going to start with the water line. So first, very important, down below, turn your water supply off. And ours is just for demo here, but if you can, open up a relief so any built-up water pressure has a chance to drain out. It'll just keep you nice and dry. At this point, I will unhook the stainless steel flex line or the copper water line, depending on your installation, from the main water line up to the cooler. And I will then disconnect the hose adapter from the spigot adapter, and then I will disconnect the spigot adapter from the spigot. Now when we do the shutdowns, just so we know where all these parts end up, it makes for a smooth startup and just a better experience for everyone. We like to take all these parts, put them in a plastic bag, like a large Ziploc bag or an old shopping bag, put those parts in the cooler. So that way, they're up here all winter long. You know, you might put them on a shelf in the garage in the fall, and then you do spring cleaning, and they could vanish. Without all these parts, your cooler will not function. So I highly advise, if you don't put them in the cooler, put them in a space that's going to be safe for them, that's easy to find and it's marked. So then up here, we disconnect the 1/4-inch copper water line from the stainless steel hose adapter. Remove the hose adapter from the solenoid valve. Remove the cover from the solenoid valve. Unplug it. Then remove the solenoid valve from the cooler. At this point in time, it's a good idea to inspect your strainer. It's on the bottom of the solenoid valve, and it's white. If there's any debris or anything like that, it will pull out very easily. It's pliers. You can rinse it off and put it back in there. If it's clean, disregard that stuff. Now, because this had water going through it, and it's going to be up here during the winter, I highly advise, before you put it in the bag, you just shake it. And any water that's in there will come out. There'll be some water in the inlet, a little bit of water on the outlet. Just shake it until no more water comes out. Take it, its cover, and the adapter, put those in your plastic bag, and put them up inside of the cooler. That way everything is in there and you're good to go. At this point, I also like to put the wire back into the cooler. And for demonstration purposes today, I don't have a bag, but I also like to put the bag over the hole, so that way it makes it harder for any late season insects or anything like that to try to move into your cooler over the winter. So at this point, on the back of the cooler is the power switch. You'll want to turn that off. And then you'll also want to remove the batteries from your remote control. Once the batteries are out, you just hit the power button 5 or 6 times until the display goes blank. And that's it. You can repurpose the batteries, or you can save them for next spring. Alright, so now we've gone over disconnecting the water line and the components. A very important step, especially if we installed your cooler, because when we install the cooler, we like to try to make the water line vanish. We want it to blend in with the architecture of your house. So often, that is done more for the aesthetic appeal than the actual draining integrity of the water line. So if we installed your cooler, and if it does not just go straight down, you will want to get an air compressor or something like that, hook up to your water line, and make sure that it is blown out. Typically there's not a lot of water left in these, especially after they're disconnected, but there is the potential, if you have a long horizontal run, maybe going along your gutter, that's where the water is going to hide out over the winter, freeze, and potentially burst your pipe. So we definitely advise blowing it out. An air compressor, any type of compressed air vessel. I mean, heck, even if you had to get a shop vac and duct tape it to cover the pipe to make a good seal, that's going to blow the water out. Very important to do that. So let's just pretend I hooked up our compressor here. I give it several good blows just to make sure that there's nothing else coming out of it. And then that's that. The water line stays there for the winter. At this point, you want to get your covers back on. And it's definitely easier if you're already up on the roof with it, instead of how I'm trying to do it here from the ground today. So bear with me. Make sure all your breeze air parts are well out of the way. door clips back on. And repeat for all the doors. Now, if you ever lose or break your door clips, and you need help finding any of those little parts, please give us a call. We stock all those. We carry them at our shop. So, water line's done, blown out, components are disconnected, put safely inside the cooler. The cooler's clean, the power's disconnected, the batteries are removed from the thermostat. It's pretty much done. The last step is to put on the cover. And all of our coolers come with a cover. And this is not a cheap cotton duck cover. This is a high quality, ventilated, heavy duty UV resistant vinyl. Made to fit it perfectly. Very easy to secure. I mean, these guys thought of everything. So you just simply grab and pull, and it locks it in place with a little toggle. If there's a leg nearby, I like to tie it around the leg just in case we have a really windy day. You don't want your cover to blow away, but we've never lost one. So that is it for shutting down or winterizing your Breeze Air cooler. This has been Jeremy with the Cooler Company. Thank you for your time, and please check out our other videos.